All right. Again, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to our Vertica Fitness Virtual Discovery Day. I'm super excited. We are joined by a few wonderful Entrepreneur Source coaches, and really opportunity for you to look at Vertica through the eyes, that lens of a coach, as well as really encourage you to look at it through the eyes of a candidate, right? A client, one of your clients going deep into our model. So with that in mind, I'm going to hand it over to our founder, Katrina Wyckoff.
Thank you, Sean. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see you. I want to just really thank everyone and acknowledge you guys as coaches for being willing and excited to share our brand, for all that you have done for the brand so far. And yeah, just really thank you for that. And let's kick it off with a little video here. So I love to
makes you want to dance.
Right. I love starting with that video just because when I first heard about pole fitness, I really wasn't sure what that was and what it meant and what to expect. And as I've been exposed to more things and certainly where I am now it's like, okay, now I understand what this is all about. And so just giving you guys that quick little 3-minute intro as far as if you were to walk into a studio, what would you see, what's happening, and just really the beauty of all that is within the Vertica brand. For today, my friends, we are going to be going through a couple of things. We'll do introductions, talk about our advisory board and studio tour, launch plan, and day in the life. But really, most important is that on our call today is I want to give everybody the opportunity to really, like I said, get that inside peek into what is everything Vertica, ask questions, get to know our brand more, and be able to go from there. So starting off first, I'm on the call today. We have Dennis, Sean, and then also Michelle and our new friend Sierra, but we'll start here. So a little bit about me. I have been doing pole for, going on 12 years and been running studio businesses for close to 20. And I competed all over the world. I was a delegate to the World Games, showing pole fitness to the International Olympic Committee. And I competed in world championships. I won a national championship. But really what I'm most proud of is this community that we've built, of this community that helps people to be able to feel empowered and to be able to increase their confidence and go out and really just make the world a better place. And that's where so much of the fun comes in. And of course, now being able to take this as a franchise and helping our franchisees to be able to go vertical in their lives and be able to create this empowerment within their businesses that then goes on to bless them. So it's a little bit about me. Next up, we have Dennis. So I'll turn the time over here to Dennis.
Yeah, I don't know how to say this, but I feel lucky that I got involved with Vertica. Like a lot of people, I had preconceived notions about the business. I tell everybody, nobody has to remind me I have a big mouth. I know that, but I have big ears too. I listen. And I now consider myself the smartest man in the room for listening and educating myself and learning about the business. I've never had a brand. This is my 10th brand. Put over 1,200 people into my brands over the last 17 years, where it's so purposeful. Because the first thing I always ask my question when I get pitched on a new opportunity is, does the market need it, right? Do we really need another Froyo franchise? Probably not. And, this I had to look into the market, because it's not that we created the market, but we've taken a really highly fragmented pole industry, and what Katrina and her team have been able to do is just absolutely magical. And the greatest thing about this brand is it's being proven every day, every time we open a new studio. I mean, this is like Orange Theory 12, 13 years ago, where the demand for the product, service, or the widget is there. We prove it every day. I was lucky enough to be at the Hayward, California opening, and when you walk in, and there's 150 people in the room in this, 1,400 square foot plus or minus, and it's packed, and the energy, you can't fake that. You can't go buy that. And so again, I'm just really happy to be here. Vertica is going to be a household name. I guarantee it, and really excited to have you guys here.
Thanks, Dennis. And next up, we have Sean.
Hey everyone, great to be here, and even better to be part of this amazing team. Thank you for carving out time out of your day to be part of this experience, and thanks for diving in and learning more about Vertica Fitness. I too had that opportunity to dive in and learn more about Vertica Fitness way back when Mike Roberts, the founder of Waymax Laundry, introduced Dennis to Katrina and myself. And, I had that weird perception, right? I grew up in that time and age, right, where Chris Rock joked about dad's #1 job is keep your daughter off the pole. I'm like, oh, let's go do pole fitness. And then part of my path, right, was as Mike shared, and his daughter is an elite aerial and pole athlete, and they know Katrina through participating at nationals, internationals, etc. And they met, and Mike's like, hey, what's next for you, Katrina? She's like, I'm going to franchise this. And he's like, I've got the people you need to meet. And it sort of started there. And then as part of my discovery, my daughter goes to school and just graduated, went to school in Prescott, Arizona. And so as we're getting launched, headquarters is down in Tucson. I wanted to, in spite of that Kid Rock joke, is have my daughter go down there and meet Katrina and do a class. What's amazing is my daughter was a collegiate volleyball athlete, and so really in shape. And she went down there, she did a class with Katrina at the studio, and she came back, she's like, Dad, you have to do this. It was the best workout and most fun I've ever had, and it's just amazing. So don't even think twice about it. And so when my daughter says you have to do it, I'm like, all right, let's go. And then we did it. And now what is amazing, Dennis talked about being there at Hayward and opening Mariah, she had different jobs and roles, et cetera, in her career, walking in there, seeing the members, the prospective members, her family, and the joy that was on her face, and also knowing that she was cash flow positive that day that we walked in. And then what's Mariah's enrollment at right now, Katrina?
She's over 230 members.
And she's been open basically 5 weeks. And so we know that Mariah is profiting to probably $12,000 to $15,000 a month right now. And she gets to totally transform her life, That's more than she's ever made in any job. And also have that amazing impact, this ripple effect that Vertica has with the studio owner, but then with our coaches and with the people that we make an impact on. It is just amazing. When we own the trademark, every body belongs, and we truly engender that and inspire that in everything we do every day. And that's what I get to wake up every day and help people realize that. Not everybody is a Mariah. A lot of people like look at it like, ooh, that's interesting, pole fitness. But when they get it, they get it. And like Mauricio, I'm maybe stealing your thunder. You might want to get into some of these numbers later on, Katrina. But you know, Mauricio is opening up in Salt Lake City, and the ads went live last night, and he's already got 96, 97 pre-sales, and his break-even number is like right around 100. Like, oh my goodness, we've never seen a light up like that, and that's a really testament to continuing to improve what we do, how we do it, and scale it. So now his grand opening is even stronger than those before him. So it's just really a blessing and honor to be part of this amazing team. Katrina's inspirational, and Dennis is awesome, and you know, Michelle, have Michelle talk about herself, and then our owners are truly inspiring me every day. Thanks, Katrina.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great. So next, we would love to just have the opportunity to have those of you guys that are on the call introduce yourself, tell us where you're coming from, and then just, you know, some of you guys are quite familiar with Vertica, but tell us a little bit just about what excites you about Vertica. And then if you want to tell us a fun fact or something interesting, would love to just get to know you a little bit more in that way, for everyone on the call. So Sean, I've got you up first.
All right, Mr. Hansen, go. She said Sean.
She
Good
did.
Sean. The
The
good
Oh, she
good
said the
Sean.
good Sean. So I'm sorry. I got to go talk this time. Oh God, where do I start? Sean Caldwell, Mansfield, Texas. I don't know anything about you guys. I'm excited about Mauricio. It's about freaking time he's opening his store. I got to go yell at him. It's taken a year. Patty, Dan, Mauricio's my client that I introduced over
That's
a year
great.
ago. So I'm excited to hear how things are going for him. What do I like? What do I know? Very, very much like everybody else. The first time we heard Vertica when I was in training, it's like, oh my God, really? The pole fitness? Really? We've got dancers for that we're showing stuff for. But obviously fallen in love with it. Our first visit was in San Antonio. Got to meet Katrina, Michelle face to face for the first time. That was a lot of fun. And then I Sean and Dennis and company all got to hang out with me at Phoenix last year. I apologize for that, guys, but we're all good. I don't know any fun facts. I'm a boring person. Dan can tell you fun facts about me. Patty can tell you maybe. Patty's my adopted mom in TES.
Thank you.
Fun
We love you.
fact, you guys have the cutest grandson ever. In fact, I don't let Sean text me or email me unless he includes a picture of the baby. It's like, I won't respond to him until he sends me a picture. That's a fun fact.
And then Patty, we'll go ahead and go to you. We'd love to give you
Okay.
the floor for a minute.
Well, and Ralph will be on here soon. He unfortunately was given a quick meeting that he had to attend. We've looked at Vertica in the past, and I was looking at it for one of my clients, and I talked with Michelle, and she told me of all the new innovations, the changes that had happened, and they're all positive, and they make a huge difference in the way that I was looking at it. Fun fact, my husband and I met in our senior year of high school also. We're high school sweethearts, and then 2 years later got married. Been married 50 years now. So
Oh, congratulations.
yeah, doing good.
Beautiful.
That's it for us.
Thank you, Patty.
You bet.
And then next up, I have Dan.
Well, it's finally great to meet you, Katrina. I will say that your brand is exciting to me because of Michelle. She's an incredible person, very responsive, very collaborative, and I'm a new coach. I've only owned my business for less than a year, maybe 10 or 11 months. And so, you know, I'm an Orange Theory Fitness junkie, and so when I saw Vertica, I'm like, wow, that looks impossible. I mean, I like Orange Theory Fitness because it tells you exactly what to do if you're doing something wrong. The coach corrects you, etc. But one of my dreams is to have a 6-pack, not a keg, as a so anyway, and Michelle invited me. I have this is definitely a of all the businesses that I have shown, this is the one that I like the most. And I'm not just saying that because you're Katrina, you're on the call, but I really think that, listening to Dennis and Sean and Katrina, you guys you speak the same language of, being purposeful about what you're doing and having fun. I'm only assuming, I've never done pole dancing, but I'm assuming that it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
Why not have fun? Why not have fun, right? It's pretty fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you. It's nice to meet you, Dan. It's nice to have everyone on the call. Thank you for sharing. So next, I want to talk just a little bit about our advisory team. So when we went to launch, there were so many, really honestly, every single part of what we were doing was very intentional and with the end in mind. And so we took the time to build out a team, to build out the brand and all of these things with the intention to be able to show these things that are within my heart and to be able to show the purpose of the brand. And so as part of this, we put together an advisory board, and it is just like the greatest of each different parts of our industry and then our complementary parts, complementary industries, in order to give this brand the wings to fly. So a couple of people that I'll highlight real quickly. Scott Martin, he is a world-renowned brand strategist. He's an author. He put together much of the visuals as far as what you're seeing and helped us to really bring forward much of the messaging also. All of these things that had been in my heart, he helped to bring out and be able to help be visible. You can see him here with Tony Robbins. Scott and I both are part of the Platinum Partnership group within Tony's Circle. So we do mentor directly with Tony. So that's been super fun. And then Michelle. So I was saving her whole introduction for this because not only is, she's everybody's best friend, my best friend, and part of our franchise scale team, but she's also a coach at Vertica and part of our advisory board. And Michelle brings so much talent and wisdom and just fun. You're talking about the fun. Michelle brings the fun. So Michelle, I'll give you an opportunity to talk here.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to meet Katrina. Gosh, it's been about 10 years ago. So I have been lucky to be a part of Vertica from day one, since before it was even Vertica. I worked for Katrina when she owned a children's dance studio, and we quickly just did become best friends. And when I will never forget, we were in Italy. We were there for a world championships, and we were going on a gelato tour through Italy. And Katrina pulled me aside and said, I'm franchising. We rebranded to Vertica. I'm going to franchise and I want you to come with us. And I was a fitness and wellness director at an active adult community at the time. And I told her, when you sell your first franchise, call me and I'll walk away from my job, my career, and come back full time. And I meant it. And I did, obviously. Because I knew that this would be one of the most important things besides being a mom that I'll ever do in my life, because of the mission behind Vertica. Sean Caldwell will tell you that I bleed purple, and it's true. This brand is about something bigger. It's about making a difference and doing it in a fun way. So I still do coach at Vertica. I teach the 5:30 a.m. Fit classes because I cannot get enough, and I can't ever walk away from being inside of the studio completely, because it's that life-changing, not just for the members that come in, but for all of us that are coaches or part of the corporate team too. Then got lucky enough to team up with Sean and Dennis as well through Katrina. But I'm stoked that you guys are here, and also, you know, just grateful that you trust your candidates with me. I will take care of them, I promise. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Michelle. And then I'm going to go a little bit more quickly with some of these other people, but Sarah Foley, who you guys can see is in a wheelchair. She's paralyzed from the waist down. She is on our advisory board, really watching over, making sure that everything is not just like, you know, these nice things that we say, but we really are able to create a place where everybody belongs. So like I did a workshop for a bunch of women in wheelchairs, and we did this amazing flirty fitness class. It was so fun. And so, like I said, she's just really watching over the program, helping us to make sure we're always super inclusive. Great. Cool. So next person highlighting is Marco Mendez. You guys, when we first tried to launch, you know, I had some really beautiful pictures within our community, but they were pictures I had taken on my phone. And so I was like, okay, well, let's use stock pictures in order to be able to show just the professionalism of the brand. And you guys, I'm telling you that the stock pictures within the industry were, I really believe they didn't show the diversity. And so that's why we hired Marco Mendez, who is seriously the most amazing photographer within the pole industry, to be able to come and get pictures of all different types of people to be able to show our brand diversity. So he's awesome. Sabrina Madsen, she was just with us in St. Augustine for their grand opening, but she has all of the degrees, all of the letters after her name, and along with over 20 years of experience within the industry, tons of medals. But she comes with that expertise as far as making sure that the program is not only really, really amazing for building people's ability to do pole, but it's got the science behind it also for fitness. And Melvin Sanchez, who is a world champion, he helps us with our competition team. And then also Phoenix Cosry, who performed on Broadway for 13 years. She does a bunch of choreography for us. And so just really high quality within our brand.
Sean, to add to that too, out of the 10 brands I've been involved with in the last 17 years, I've never had a brand go to market so mature in terms of its development. We're usually fixing things as we go, right? And you're in startup mode. But when we went to market, we really did, with Katrina's leadership, went to market like a 10-year-old company. I mean, with learning management systems, everything. I mean, it's just an incredible, because usually when I have a young brand, you know, we're putting the pieces as we go, and you know, version 2, version 3, version 4 quickly. We were version 5 when we launched, and that's highly unusual in the franchise space.
Yeah, and that evolution, you know, as we've got studios open and we were learning lessons. I mean, our version 3 with Vertica right now is a typical brand's like version 10. We've gone through all those iterations, and now, like we mentioned, Mauricio, with those pre-sales, why is he that high? Our marketing rocks, and we continue to improve it with every single studio that we open.
Well, thanks, guys. And then we have here our map showing our franchisees. So as you guys can see, people of all different walks of life and truly coast to coast. Dan, you got a question?
Yeah, thank you for that map. It's beautiful. The one thing that is very evident is that it's majority women. There's a couple of couples, I guess. When you talk with potential franchisees, are they, as a man, is there some kind of stigma, or like, you know, how am I trying to say this? I'm catching over my words. You know, I guess.
Is it awkward for a man to buy?
Yeah, is it awkward for a man to buy a Vertica Fitness?
This is a really important question, actually. And I was talking about this with Nick over here, who's in St. Augustine, I was just with him, and it has been so beautiful to watch his development. And yes, he does have his wife, but he plays a major part in this business. And really where he has stepped in is he's like this papa bear to this community. And as they see him coming to the studio, he's a source of stability, he's a source of respect, and honestly, they really, really love having him there, right? Because he's validating all of the things that they are looking for, as far as like, it is important, not just to these women, but to society as a whole, for people to come and have a place where they belong. And so, yes, so in answer to your question, as far as like, are men, single men, or men who want to be the primary franchisee, able to do so successfully? Absolutely. And we definitely
Well,
people and make sure that their heart is in the right place, right? But the people who show up and get the mission, it was so inspiring listening to Nick speak at his grand opening, as he really just stood up there in front of this entire full studio and bore his heart about how, you know, he wants to create a place that's safe for his daughters, and for them to be empowered, and for them to feel body positivity, and to be able to go out in the world showing up as their best selves.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And piggybacking on that, I'd actually ask Sean, you introduced Mauricio to us. That must have been interesting. And now he's about to open and his pre-sales are through the roof. I think that could be good at value.
Yeah, I mean, his view was all around the fitness aspect. He actually looked at gym guys first because he's a bodybuilder, and he has this view of the fitness aspects of it, but he really saw what Vertica could do for him. I've got a bunch of clients that feel the same way. I'm just waiting to get more of them to move forward with it. And by the way, I'm talking to George again soon, so our wonderful friend.
Oh, wow. That's been a long time.
It has.
Yeah, and then like CJ down in Orlando, that's actually his wife, but he's leading the charge, and he's former big executive with regional VP for Walmart, running all of Seattle. Also highlight like Caitlin down there in San Diego in her day job. She's a rock star and a true just dominating. She's won national awards, and share some of her profile. We're really fortunate that we've got people from different backgrounds, walks of life, careers, and really some amazing people, and who they are and what they're bringing to Vertica. Like Caitlin's got 2 young children. She's a rock star in her day job, and she's got a very high performing. What's Caitlin's numbers at, right? Ish. I know you'll go look up, but
she's right around that 350 mark. So you guys, she is just so happy.
350.
Yeah, it's a wonderful market.
Yeah, 300 members.
And you said that Mauricio's already got 95 set up?
So he has 96 leads. So just
okay, well, 96 leads.
Within, so usually it will take as an ad goes to market, so to speak, on Instagram and Facebook, it will sometimes take 72 hours for us to see a single lead to come in. And then they'll kind of start to trickle in. And he last night,
that's what he just told me.
It went live last night, and I checked it before we got on the call. So, in a matter of hours, he has 96 people. I'm sure it's way more than that now, who are like, I want a membership. So have they pressed purchase? Not yet, just because, it's just morning now. But, there are 96 people that are saying, I'm interested. Let's go.
Where does Mauricio live?
He's in Salt Lake City.
Oh.
And so, that is something, just being able to show this really is a brand for everybody in every location, right? We've got San Diego that, they're a little more liberal there in California, versus Salt Lake City, obviously much more conservative, and Salt Lake City is going to just explode. So.
Wow.
Cool.
I think it's important that you touch on that really quick, because one of the very first questions I get in discovery on my intro call is, well, I live in a very conservative area, or I
Wait,
don't
are you
know
saying what
how,
Patty said to you? I
right?
think that was
Like,
Patty's point.
yeah, like it does not matter. Conservative women need us just as much as everybody else, and men, but you know.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. And I there were a couple of locations that I was planning to open up prior to partnering with Sean and Dennis and moving into franchising, but I was going to open the Utah area, just because I am very familiar with that culture. And the truth is that not just as, you know, I want to definitely clarify this brand services men for sure, but as women, being able to have a place that is safe where we're able to come and really, you know, it's not necessarily even so much about sensuality, but just about being whole and coming and loving your body and being able to experience that joy of movement is something that everybody of every culture needs. And so this is why I know it's just gonna explode. Yes, Dan.
So another sex question, not sex, male.
Let's have it. Let's do it.
Like, I love that you speak with such passion in regards to having a safe space for women with every body, like literally whether you're skinny or large or whatever. But how many of the classes, is there a mix? Is it common for there to be a mix of men and women, or is it primarily women and then maybe men and women? Like, what
Yeah.
are those? Yeah.
Great question. So at the more mature studios, so like the Tucson location is the most mature location, there are men in every single class, and you know, men of all different walks of life. And some of the newer studios are a little bit more female predominant. However, as word gets out and just the population becomes more aware of what's going on, more and more men do come. However, one of the things that people really latch onto is that when it's safe for one person, it's safe for everyone. And so that's something that we really, really protect as part of our culture, is making sure that no matter who it is that they walk in that door, there's that element of safety, respect, and just love towards our members. And so, yeah, there's no problem as far as having co-ed classes.
And the women do not care. I would really like to bring this up as a point as well, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, how are they going to think about a man in my class? They don't care. In fact, we love it.
Yeah, it's super
So
fun.
it's not an issue.
It'd be different if there were a bunch of men like sitting and watching, right? That would be like weird.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it's just my inexperience of asking the
Yeah.
question. Ultimately, I mean, I would agree that, I mean, I'm certain that every woman who has done Vertica Fitness at least more than once has a better abdominal muscles than I do. So, I mean, there's that.
the six packs just kind of come with the territory. However, though, I do, you know, as we became Vertica and we got very, very clear on that messaging of every body belongs, that's when we had so much explosion, because all of a sudden we were serving all of these different populations. We have plus size athletes all the time within our buildings in, you know, every class. And that is amazing. That is so beautiful to have people to have a place to come to work out where they can be accepted on day one, where they're allowed to love their bodies on day one. Now, everyone is still working out. Everyone is still working to become the best version of themselves, but now they're coming at it from a place of body love instead of body hate. And that's that magic just takes off.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. All right, my friends. And honestly, this whole point of all of this session is for you guys. So it's okay if we don't get to all of this stuff on the screen. I want to make sure we answer all of the questions and that kind of stuff. So by all means, if you have questions, let's have them. This little one here, this next video though, is a tour of the Tucson location. So we have tons of different types of locations. We have retail, we have industrial, we have flex spaces. This particular one is a flex space, so I'll let it play. Here we go. Hi, I'm Katrina Katrina, owner of Vertica Fitness, and I'd love to invite you inside my studio. This is our lobby. You'll notice we've got plenty of space in here, room for people to come while they're waiting for classes. In addition, right away when people walk in, they see our slogan here, our motto of "Every Body Belongs." We've got our beautiful purple couch. This is a flex space that has 2 pole rooms. So let's take a look in the first pole room. This pole room is around 800 square feet and it has 9 poles. The poles are approximately 12 feet tall and the ceiling has about 14 feet of clearance. The poles are around 7 feet apart, which gives enough room for the students to come in and pole without kicking each other while still maximizing the amount of space and usage of the studio. These are competition grade loop-it poles. These ones, we do have a couple of different metals. Different students prefer different metals. So this one is brass. We also have stainless steel. These poles use the quick connect and click connect, which means they're on static. And then with just this little twist down here, they can go to spin. So nice high-tech poles make it really a great experience for the students. These poles are all mounted with a truss. So the truss system is definitely something that will be in every location, and it makes it so that it provides just really high quality safety for hooking the poles up while not requiring structural engineers. So safety is always top priority, making sure these poles are really nice and stable. A couple other things in here, several fans. It's important that the students are able to stay cool while they're taking classes. That helps them, of course, to stay comfortable, but also to be able to stay on the pole. This room is a flex space, and so because of that, this one has the curtains, which besides being beautiful, they also are functional in that they help to provide some noise cancellation and also some insulation in this particular building. We've got our beautiful Vertica Fitness logo here. In addition to, we also have above the mirrors the logo of "Every Body is Beautiful, Every Body Belongs, and Every Body Can Go Vertical." Each room also has a stereo, some fun lights, and each room has cubbies, just real simple cubbies where the students can come and put their belongings. In addition to, there is bottles with rubbing alcohol, and then backups of rubbing alcohol and towels. So those are the main things that we're going to stock in each room, making it so that the students are able to stay clean and sanitize their poles. Coming back through here, just a couple more things about the lobby. We want to make it really nice and inviting, and there's not really a need for a receptionist because everything is done online as far as booking and all of the sales and everything like that. And so this place can just be really homey and inviting. We do have, though, our boutique. And so within the boutique, there's a couple of things that we want to make sure we stock so that we're able to provide these things for our students. We have pole grip, we have some different gloves and some knee pads. Then we also have some really fun pole outfits. The students love these. These particular ones are made by Grata Designs. The students love them. And then also tank tops. The tank tops we sell in addition to they're frequently used for promotions and giveaways. Everything in the boutique is self-service, and so it's just run off of QR codes. The students come over, they can run the QR code, check out from their accounts online, and of course everything is videoed. We do have security cameras if there were ever an issue, but you know, these are your clients, so they're going to take good care of you. Coming through here, this is the second pole room, and very similar setup to the other one. We again have the 9 poles around 7 feet apart, hooked up by the truss system. We've got logos, and yeah, in each room is also going to have some yoga mats. They're going to have pole mats, and again, the same thing as far as rubbing alcohol, towels, and backups for that. Each room does have a bathroom, making sure that that's handicap accessible, making sure it's a place where everybody belongs. So thank you so much for coming on our tour of Vertica Fitness. Cool. So then what I want to highlight as far as just the is we'll do this one next, but what I want to highlight is that, you know, these are simple build outs. This isn't super, super fancy as far as a bunch of just tons and tons and tons of equipment and rooms and all of this kind of stuff. It's an open floor plan. We put down some flooring, put up some mirrors, put up the truss and the poles. And so it makes it for really quite a fast build out and then a much less expensive than some of these other gyms. Any questions on build out before we move on?
The lobby. I noticed that San Antonio didn't have a lobby. How common is that versus having the lobby?
Great question. So that particular, the flex space in the video basically came with a lobby, so we left it. But many of the locations don't have a lobby, and that's totally fine because we want to maximize as much pole usage as possible. You don't need to have your members hanging out a whole bunch, right? They should come take class and then clear out for the next group. So yeah, the lobby is just really honestly quite small if it exists at all. And then let me see, adjust my back.
And then a follow-up on it, the multiple studios, the breakout, they had just one great big one. Michelle had mentioned something along the lines that 1,600 square feet's recommended, go up to 2,000 if you want to have the secondary studio with the aerials.
Yeah.
Is he thinking of doing that again?
Yeah, so a couple of things in that as far as we can go as small as 1,200 square feet. So the space that I'm in right now is 1,200 square feet. I think you guys can see me a little bit, or if I don't share my screen, I think it's still blurring. Maybe not.
No,
You're good?
it's not blurry.
Yeah, I just kind of always like, here's the tour of this location. And I love that because it's like so simple, right? It's just like, here's the poles. But yeah, so this is an example. It's 1,200 square feet and there's plenty of room. Like the boutique is there.
So
Quick comment, and I've got a question. Comment is, you were talking about conservative areas. Just an FYI, this morning I was talking to a client near Provo, BYU, and I asked her, what would be your ideal health place to go to or a setup? And she says, well, I would like something like Orange Theory. I would like something where it's subscription based. I would like something where people can come and feel good about themselves and then leave and feel good about themselves. And I said, got something for you. So we went over that. You'll be hearing from her soon. But you know,
Nice.
I thought it was great. You know, the other thing is, if somebody was to buy a 3-pack, how long do you have to open that second store or third store or third location?
I take it because it's brick and mortar and because it's obviously you know, commercial real estate. We put kind of a goal set within the FDD, but it's open-ended. The last thing we want to do is force somebody to meet a development schedule and choose a bad location, right? And we're obviously intimately involved. Gary Litvin runs our all the brick and mortar for our 3 brands. So everybody wants to get open as soon as possible, but you know, patience and discipline when it comes to real estate, right? Because we have to make sure that location is going to work. So we're never going to force somebody. It's never going to expire, your franchise agreement. If it took 3 years to get all 3 open, if it took 2 years, 5 years, we all want to get them open, but we're never going to force somebody to make a bad decision.
Appreciate that.
That there are 3 types of classes, right? There are 3 types of classes. There's the fit classes, which are the strength and conditioning classes, very typical to what you might see in other gyms. It's just being done with a pole. Then we do have our flirt classes, which are sensual dance classes. And these are hugely popular. They're amazing. Like we talked about, having that safe space for both men and women, but especially for the women to come and be able to fall in love with their bodies. That's really what that's about, having this movement and feeling good. And then the last type of class is the fly classes. And those are the tricks and the spins, much like you would see as we prepare for the Olympics, right? These are G-rated classes, people that are coming and they're doing basically gymnastics on the pole. So Cool. Mission and vision. So our vision is to set out and to grow this brand to over 1,500 studios. I picked that number because well, I am very competitive, and Orange Theory has 1,500 studios. So, but you know, success leaves clues, and I love all of the things that Orange Theory and some of these other franchises have done. And so that is our goal, is to grow this. But the why is what's so important when we talk about our vision. And our why, that mission, is to create a space where everybody belongs, everybody is beautiful, everybody can go vertical. And we talked about a little bit that switch from Pole Fitness USA, which was very just like, we're going to the Olympics, we're going to the Olympics, to Vertica, which is really all about that empowerment. It's about that wholeness of people and being able to create that confidence within everyone. And time and time and time again, as our brand has grown, well, I'll tell you just real quickly, Caitlin in San Diego, she came to me and she said, Katrina, everything that you said would happen did. And she's like, I have people who come up to me all the time and they cry and they hug me and they tell me, thank you for building this, because this place has changed my life. And that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this, to help all of those people who need that place of safety, who want that place of fun, and to want to be able to have that community. So a couple of the logistics as we're talking launch plan. So from the time someone signs to getting them open, we can go honestly really quite fast. And so it's just a matter of how quickly that franchisee is able to find their location. So we do have a ton of assistance in this site selection. I know Sean wants to add a bunch here, so I'll just do the quick highlights, and Sean, you can go deep here. But we can go anywhere. We can go in light industrial, we can go in retail. And then the demographics, you guys, works in blue collar locations. It works great blue collar. It works in white collar. It works honestly anywhere, because the thing that unites our clients is not the color of the skin. It's not how much money they make. It is not how old they are even. What unites them is those values. And so that's really what it is. It's a value graphic and not a demographic. And then we have talked about build out, but again, just highlighting everything that I do in my business. I want it to be simple, sophisticated, and sustainable. And so we have developed a floor plan that's super easy, as far as just, you know, it's open, you can get open quickly, but it's super beautiful. And yeah, everything's pretty much ready to go, super easy. I want to highlight our digital build out also. You guys, we have some huge, amazing tools, and the one that will just blow your mind is our Vertica Circle network. This is a online platform that works as a social media, but it also works as our training platform. It also works as a marketing platform. And so there's all of these courses and challenges and video tutorials. When people see it, they're just blown away. So you guys are all welcome to join it. We have over 5,000 people that are part of this digital build out. And you go to verticacircle.com and it'll lead you you can create an account and see what's going on. But we also, in addition to our Vertica Circle network, we have great software, and yeah, it's really been awesome as far as the digital stuff goes. Recruiting. So I'm going to move a little bit faster through this. If you guys want to ask questions on any of this, let me know. Dan, yes.
Sorry, I have lots of questions.
Go ahead.
How long does it take, and I'm sure you're going to get to this, but how long does it take to train an instructor?
Great question. So our training, this is how it works. Honestly, when we start advertising, people start approaching us. In every market, this has happened, even in the small markets. And people start saying, I do pole in my garage. I want to come and work for you. And so we have had zero problem whatsoever finding instructors. With that, we can additionally train people just with a fitness background in order to become instructors. And the training consists of digital training. So they have a bunch of digital training that they do online. And then they come out to Tucson and we do an additional 3 days with them. And then we have been going out to their grand openings and just doing additional support. It's another day or two. That's really just a bonus as far as making sure that everybody is ready. So.
Oh my gosh, I lived this going to Hayward. This was mind blowing. So Mariah's lead instructor, by day, she's got a PhD from Berkeley, and she's a scientist and works in the labs and doing like weird, crazy stuff with AI and molecular biology. And like, wow, she is super smart. And by night, she's coaching at Vertica. And we did a great interview. I'm remiss. We'll get that posted so you guys can see it. And it was amazing when meeting her and really did an interview is she does pole and did pole, went to other smaller studios. She's like, there's nowhere around here. I have to drive 30, 45 minutes to get to another pole studio. So when I saw this opening up in my backyard, I signed up. And then I realized I don't want to just be a student or a member. I want to help other people. And then went through, and Katrina and team, saw her skills and capabilities and her people skills. People skills are key, right? When we go in and we do that first class, that first 45 minutes that they have a chance to be introduced to Vertica, I'm not going to say it. Katrina, tell them about that first 45 minutes.
Sure. So we do a complimentary class, and this is so essential as part of the brand. But I train our coaches that during that 45 minutes, this is their opportunity to make a difference in the life of that person. They get 45 minutes. And even if they never see that person again, they want to leave them with a lasting impression and help make their life better just in that 45 minutes. That's their mandate.
Absolutely.
So the instructors do come to us with all sorts of different certifications. Some will have a fitness certification, some will have dance experience, but honestly, most of them are just coming with some sort of pole experience, and then we certify them. And as far as what they pay, or what the franchisees are paying, anywhere from 15 to 40. And so I would say the average is still 25 though, per hour.
Great, thank you. And then,
and Katrina, you want to hit like bonus and incentive too, because I think that's an important part of their comp.
Yeah, and I mean, we do have several instructors who make a great living, and they're getting commission for helping with building the studio as far as sales and that kind of stuff. And yeah, so our instructors are really happy, and they're getting to do what they love. You know what I mean?
absolutely. And then as far as the model and of payment, and you find somebody that you really fits your why perfectly, do you also help the franchisees in regards to, all right, if you have this person follow this model to help with incentives and bonuses, etc., or is that really kind of independent on the franchise or the person who buys your franchise?
So we definitely have like a suggested structure as far as this is the training, this is the type of people that you're looking to hire. This is the training that they go to. And here is a suggested payment structure. Okay.
And then does competition exist for?
No. So certainly there's no one else like this in the fitness industry that is doing anything close that we're doing as far as fitness or pole. If I, honestly, are there other pole studios out there? Of course. But these pole studios, I always say if they're doing a good job, they're going to celebrate when we come to the area, because we are going to grow the market so much that they're going to be able to benefit from that also. And, yeah, so it's a really beautiful thing. There are other locations that are actually excited for us to come.
Great.
I also have a quick question. In the memberships, does that allow for as many classes as you'd like to take during the month?
So we do have different tiered memberships, but our most popular one that we pre-sale is an unlimited membership.
And what does that membership cost?
So we pre-sell them starting at $99, and then they can go up to over $200 a month once people are open.
And it's really market dependent, right?
Yeah.
San Diego is more than Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana is pretty much in line with Tucson. And then Hayward is, closer to San Diego pricing because it's, Bay Area, San Francisco area. So I think Katrina just set the new bar that we don't want to open with less than 150 members. Yep. All right, cool, new bar.
Well, and so just this last chunk of material that I'd love to cover for you guys before we open it up for questions, but is how do we do this? And Sean says he's our numbers nerd, but you guys, I could just look at spreadsheets all day long when they're about membership sales. I love to strategize and to marketing is my thing. This is what I love. I just love to breathe this because what marketing is it's just being very clear on what you stand for. And all selling is sharing, right? Someone who truly cares will sell. And so this is where I'm just everything comes together and it's so, so fun when you're like, hey, we've got something that's going to change your life. And people are like, let me have it. So high level, as far as the different phases of marketing, and this is so strategized. It is so, so, so sophisticated, but it's also simple. And so we come in and we have a marketing agency that honestly, it's not my marketing agency, but I am running the marketing agency, right? That is one of the things that people get as coming into Vertica is I am controlling this aspect of it. And they plug in with their marketing agent that's over their location and they deploy ads. And so like we talked about Mauricio, he had 93 people who within a matter of minutes said, call me, I want a membership. And so these ads get deployed and we start calling these people, sending them links and selling them memberships. And we do that all the way up until the grand opening. At the grand opening, we start doing this combination of still selling these memberships, and we also start introducing the free class. And then at that 91 days and beyond, this is where we are much more focused on this free class. And it is so beautiful. It is about building a groundswell. It is about helping every single person within the community to be able to come in and have this small experience where they can feel that sense of empowerment, that sense of belonging, that sense of self-love. And when we do that and focus on that experience, that's when people say, yeah, I want this in my life, not just for 45 minutes, but I want to buy a lifetime membership, which we sell those all the time, by the way. And so, yeah, the marketing strategy, it is so strategized and yet it's so simple. And it's just based off of helping people, about telling people, hey, there's something inside of you already, and we're going to help to bring that out. We're going to help you to reclaim that. And, this is one of the fun things as the brand grows, there are franchisees, we tell people you have to follow the system. And that's what Mariah in Hayward, when people ask her why she's successful, she's like, I followed the system. I just did everything that Mike and Katrina told me to do. Mike's my hubby, right? She's like, I just did everything exactly to the letter. And so we do expect that from our franchisees, that they're going to follow the system. But we also welcome our franchisees to, when they have great ideas, let's talk about it. Let's see what we can implement. Let's see how we can help the brand to grow and develop.
So cool. on the pre-sale stuff real quick, I understand that you've got a whole lot of the pre-sales dollars in escrow for up to 30 days for things. How does that typically impact the cash flow from that perspective? So Mauricio, the San Antonio, when you had 100 signed up before it opened, 150 by the time you guys left, because of the whole cash flow aspect of those 100 that signed up, what was the impact on her? How does that happen? How does that impact normal owners?
Zero impact. So, I mean, they're just rocking and rolling and getting open, and then the memberships roll again the next month. And so, I mean, it's been great.
Just becomes okay.
With that, just some highlights real quick here, some grand opening stuff. I went over this, another couple peeks into stuff. But I think we're owner engagement, there's more in the beginning. You're launching a business, right? But I want my owners to get to whatever level of involvement that they want. I am now extremely semi-passive, if there's such a thing. Very, very semi-passive. So I still know what's going on in my 2 locations, but I have people that are handling all of the day-to-day.
Yeah. How many?
That enables you to be a great franchisor instead of running your now 3 studios. So,
Right.
and you can be super involved in at first, or you can go super semi-absentee. It really depends on how you want to scale it and have great responsiveness. Katrina has a couple of assistant managers essentially who are doing all the day-to-day tactical stuff for her studios, and she's able to do this wonderful stuff with us.
How many locations are in existence and open today?
I think we just opened. I love that I'm starting to not have all the numbers in my head anymore because we're growing. It's such an exciting place. I think we just.
Do you want to go back to the map?
I think we just opened 10, and then I believe we have 28 that are sold.
Correct. 28 franchisees sold, 10 open.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll tell you for sure.
That's awesome.
She's got the membership counts. I've got the units. That's why we're a good team.
Yes.
Why purple? I love the color and I know the meaning of it, but why purple for you?
Yeah, so honestly, we did a ton of color theory, and for me, the purple really represents being regal and all of these other things. It feels feminine without actually being pink.
Mm-hmm.
And for me also, I've built a lot of businesses, and this was a color that was fresh. And because this brand to me is so fresh, is so open, I love to have the color purple. So yeah.
Well, being here in
Vikings.
Washington with the
Minnesota
University of
Vikings.
Washington, here it works.
Yeah, so with that, I mean, this last little slide here is really where we invite people, let's go vertical. And, I always tell people, and this is something you can share with your member or your clients also as they're going through the discovery process. But, in life, when we have those moments that call us to more, right? And we can see something bigger than ourselves, bigger than our current state, there becomes this opening, right? This opening in the path. And that's where, as we become brave and step into that, that's where all of the magic happens, is on that other side of stepping through that opening. And so, that's all we do, is we don't push people through, but we help people to see this opening in their life, this opening in their pathway, and that invitation of let's go vertical. Let's really make it so that the possibilities are endless, and the joy, the abundance, the fun, the belonging, and the purpose is so intentional. So with that, I want to thank everybody for coming. If you have more questions, we're happy to answer. And let's go vertical.